with him at center, let's just quickly get into the offensive line. It's been the hot topic of camp going back to July 31st when it started. So we got Elijah Page, who's going to start at left tackle. At left guard, it looks like it's going to be Tobias Raymond. At center, O'Connor, as we've talked a lot about. At right guard, Alani Noah. And then at right tackle, it will be Justin Tawanu'u. Notice, Chris, USC took 2 transfers. DJ Wingfield, ineligible. John Ray Reed, who didn't end up starting here. I think you got to look at it one of two ways, where those guys, that 5, that's the best 5. It took all camp to get to that point, and those guys have earned it. I'm not saying that the best player isn't playing. Is it a concern, though, that USC felt like they needed to address 2 spots on that line and neither guys are starting?
A little bit. I'll be honest, a little bit, because you lost Emmanuel Pregna. You needed to fill that hole, and the guy you brought in to do that, which I 100% believe would have been one of those starting 5. I think, just by the way, Zach Hansen and Lincoln Riley talked about DJ Wingfield in the offseason. Again, we can't hear in, hypotheticals, but he would have been the starting 5. So USC had to do some shuffling, and this is the line that they're going to, spit out there in week 1. We'll see if it changes moving forward. Tobias Raymond, Elijah Page, massive left side. I'm assuming that's going to be their bread and butter side, when it comes to, where you want to run, where you want to put that play, pull to that side. A lot of things going on there. So I'm excited to see what it actually looks like. This is a offensive line that Lincoln Riley recruited every player on this offensive line. Obviously, a different offensive line coach signed all these guys, but these are all high school recruits that USC evaluated and signed and brought into to USC. So this is, I believe, will be Lincoln Riley's first season starting with an offensive line group that does not have a single transfer on it. Now, obviously, some things happen along the way to make that the case, but I think in terms of what you see on paper, this is the best unit they can put forward. The Jay Henry Reed situation of it remains to be seen, if he'll eventually take over as a starting. But Killian O'Connor has certainly earned his spot as the number 1 center for this team. So I think this is a good line. I think it has a lot of potential. I like Justin Tawanu'u. I like Tobias Raymond. But again, those guys still have question marks for me just because they're so young and they haven't had a lot of starting experience. And they're going to take some lumps. I think I'm not ashamed to say that. They're going to take some lumps. All freshmen take lumps, especially on the offensive line. So we'll just see how quickly they can get their feet settled moving forward into Purdue and Michigan State, and then obviously those bigger games at Illinois, Michigan, Notre Dame, all those big contests, because that's where they really need them to step up.